An all-timer. 10 of the greatest action movies combined to be the funniest game ever. This is the review I wrote after playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time in 2022. I really enjoyed the Resident Evil 4 remake, especially when it came to things like the added and excellent parry mechanic, but my heart still has a special place for that original rendition of Leon's European escapades.
We'll stay and watch that car.
Don't want to get any
Don't
parking.
want to get any parking tickets.
Finding out that the definitely profitable company Meta has the exclusive VR port for this game was actually one of the major determining factors in me getting a MetaQuest 3, and I am left very pleased. Every part of what makes this game so endearing and enduring has remained untouched. And the gameplay feels so alive thanks not only to how good it has always felt to play Resident Evil 4, but also how well the team at Armature did at translating that gameplay into the VR space. You haven't lived until you've reloaded the chamber of the hunting rifle in VR. I reject all violence. Dang it. Persona 5 Battle Royale, which is not on this list, because I played it 5 years ago, is a game that means a lot to me. There's a fair amount in the game that I cannot abide by, as any fan of the modern JRPG genre would admit. But that game reached me at the height of the pandemic and made my time in isolation feel less lonely. So, if this isn't about a 5-year-old re-release of a 9-year-old game, then what is it about? I bring this all up to say that my expectations for Persona 3 Reload, the 2024 remake of the 2006 original, were simultaneously way too high and way too low. Way too high because Persona 5's innovations in the series' design meant that Persona 3 Reload was contending with the best of the best of the best, and that's just not a fair fight. My expectations were also way too low because I forgot one crucial thing. Persona is a flippin' vibe and a half. While Persona 3 Reload, in its intent to remain faithful to the 2006 release, lacks a lot of the design evolutions that I really appreciated in Persona 5 Royal, it still has the things that keep me playing. Good characters, great themes, and even better music. Be it the main characters continually reminding you that every day is an opportunity for growth, and that you'll never know how much you can truly accomplish in a year.
It all comes down to making it a regular habit. Just a little each day really adds up.
Or side characters reminding you that some problems are better left for the authorities.
Yup. I have to run away now. Remember not to tell Mom and Dad, okay?
Persona 3 Reload gave me an experience wholly its own, and I am very glad to have given it the time of day. I played through Indiana Jones and the Great Circle twice this year. Once through Xbox Game Pass, #Happy Easter Xbox.
Happy Easter, Xbox.
And once on PlayStation 5 so my dad could watch. By far, my greatest gaming achievement of 2025 was getting my old school Donkey Kong Galaga dad to watch through this entire game, which is the equivalent for him of watching the paint drying booth at the most exciting county fair you've ever been to. There are many layered, overlapping reasons as to how and why this game works so well, but I think the main reason for me is that it doesn't pigeonhole itself to just one thing. It's like a bunch of different game genres stacked on top of one another in a trench coat. It's kind of an immersive sim, it's definitely got an action-adventure side to it, at times it's a puzzle game, and it's even kind of a Strand type game. Okay, so maybe not that last one, but the others? Play Indiana Jones if you want to truly feel like you're playing a good video game. Split Fiction is some of the most fun video jamming I've done all year. The game, while at times leaning into some predictable story beats, absolutely takes the already strong baton pass of It Takes Two's gameplay, and catapults it forward with even greater momentum. So many fun set pieces, large or small, and so many ideas, both in its mechanics and environments that, like It Takes Two, feels like an entire game could be made off of one of these mechanics and worlds, and yet Hazelight use it and lose it after just a few set pieces. The ending as well. No spoilers, but the entire game is worth the time investment just to get to that great ending. The worst part of a game like Return of the Obra Dinn is that you can really only play it once. But if you lean into the experience of authentic discovery, then that will be one of your absolute gaming highlights all year, guaranteed.
Well, my weaknesses are actually strengths.
All games are impossible to make, but I cannot imagine how much planning went into ordering this story's events, shuffling them around so it's experienced in a non-linear fashion that makes sense, and connecting and revealing these events so it's consistently memorable. It's insane. I love the art direction, I love how enthralling this story was, and I beat it in like 10 hours, so it didn't even take that much time. Please play this, bruv, in it. Forgive me, YouTube comment section, for I have sinned. It is my second year of placing Balatro on my Game of the Year list.
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
He's being fully serious.
Now, hate me all you want, but I think I'm justified in placing it on this year's list, because when I played it and placed Balatro on my list last year, I had barely scratched the surface of what this game was capable of. I hadn't even delved into planet cards, or foils, or tarot cards, or even higher stakes with different decks. I was praising the ocean from ankle-deep waters, but now, 60 hours in, I get it. Definitely the game to play if you want a new personality for a few days, weeks, months, years, lifetimes. Batman Arkham Shadow accomplished a lot. It got me to buy a MetaQuest 3. It really made me feel like I'm Batman. And it got me to reevaluate my thoughts on Batman Arkham Origins, which is, to put it lightly, impressive. The combat felt fluid and responsive, the pacing of the game was top-notch, and you got to pull the bat symbol off your chest like in the Batman. And what I found to be most impressive was actually the game's structure. Where Origins emulates Arkham City's open world structure, Arkham Shadow adopts the Asylum structure and then orients it into a smaller, more intimate, and mostly linear experience. I have so many thoughts as both a Batman fan and especially as an Arkham Batman fan, but I'll leave you on this note. Batman Arkham Shadow is so good that it might just be my second favorite Arkham game. That might be the recency bias talking, but who knows? Maybe it isn't.
Now. Where's the trigger? Find a loose brick.
This year's top contenders for my Game of the Year are all highlighted by authentic discovery. Being able to walk into a project with a lot of buzz behind it and no one really knows what to do, so you just kind of have to discover at your own pace, is one of my favorite feelings. During a time where companies want to give us more safe content, these games stand out so much to me because of the developers' desire to let players discover things on their own, sometimes to the point of not ever fully explaining themselves, even after the main credits roll. Of all the games in my top 3 this year, Blueprints is the superlative of the phrase layered secrets, and it starts out this layering from the jump. The premise of walking through this giant mansion to hopefully discover the seemingly impossible Room 46, when the mansion's layout only supports 45 rooms, is an intriguing premise. But then you throw the roguelite genre into the mix, where the layout of the mansion resets and changes every day, and then you layer in the clues that the game gives you, and then you begin to connect all the dots of all the secret clues handwritten on red paper until you begin to look like this. It's like an ogre Russian nesting doll. Just layers upon layers upon layers of secrets, puzzles, and clues. I had so much fun in this game, primarily because of the game's meta progression, because even though there is very little progression that carries over between your attempts at finding Room 46, your knowledge of the game and its systems are the real markers of your ability to get to the mansion's secret room. This metagame of overarching game knowledge actually got me to start journaling. And when all is said and done, one of the coolest things I got to do after beating the game was to look through my game journal notes at all the obvious clues I was writing that I was just completely oblivious to at the time. Play Blueprints if you want to feel like a genius by the end, like A Beautiful Mind. Or play it to experience writing out secret codes in a way that scares your loved ones. Also like A Beautiful Mind. Was that worth the spoiler warning? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. This game needs to be listed like a college-level course, because Hollow Knight Silksong's progenitor, Hollow Knight, should be listed on Steam as a prerequisite for anyone looking to jump into this game. Silksong is an evolution, not just for the Metroidvania genre generally, but also Hollow Knight specifically. It reminds me a lot of a game that made my Game of the Year list last year, which was the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC for 2022's Elden Ring. The entrance to the DLC was tucked away deep in the vaults of Elden Ring's third act, and could therefore be more challenging and obtuse than most of Elden Ring's base locations, enemies, and bosses, since the player has had to do so much already to get there. Silksong is like if a base-level Elden Ring player was given access to the DLC right after fighting the Soldier of Godric, because Silksong has moments of such high difficulty spikes that at times it looks like Green Goblin's heart rate. Here's the thing though. I flippin' loved Hollow Knight Silksong. Of all the games on this list, it is the game I am most looking forward to replaying in the coming years. There are a lot of reasons for that. The combat is so engaging, the movement is so smooth, the enemies and bosses are so dangerous, and the environments and character designs are so unique. Plus, it's got this little guy. The main reason I'm excited for that replay, though, is actually because of how I play games like Silksong, and it actually leads into my only real complaint with the game, and that has to do with the game's structure. During my last semester for my bachelor's program, one professor of a research psychology class I had set expectations early on about what it would take to make an A in her class. A big portion of our grade was a research project we would do in groups, where we collect data, write reports, and present our findings. But to get an A in the class, we had to do an additional research project on our own, while still working on our group project, and on top of that, both of them had to be good. At first, I was initially bummed at finding out that I was only going to make a B, because let's be honest, I'm not doing all that. But I was at least appreciative of the fact that the requirements were well established beforehand so as to not disappoint me at the last minute. So, when Silksong established an act system, I was very excited about how the narrative of Hollow Knight could evolve with this structure. And then I finished Act 2. And then the credits rolled. This is when I found out that Act 3 was locked behind 100%ing the game to even access it. I don't want to come across as overly harsh on what is my second favorite game this year, but this moment definitely left me like a parent looking to guilt trip their kid. I'm not mad, just disappointed. I'm excited for when I get to experience all the stuff I missed out on in my first playthrough during my next playthrough, but for now, I'm sure all the comments about Silksong are going to be super nice and supportive. What else is there to say about Clair Obscur, the game with the most nominations and wins at the Game Awards? The game with Andy Serkis and Charlie Cox. The game with a parry mechanic like Sekiro and a gun like Persona 5. And I guess Persona 3 as well.
Just put it to my head. And then pull the trigger.
It's a game that's the current talk of the town, but the question that I'm sure is on everyone's mind is, what did I think of Clair Obscur Expedition 33? I think the game was pretty good. Okay, well, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video.